that? You didn't know it was through.
Wait a second.
Welcome to the September 13th meeting of the Oakland Mayor and Council meeting. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. The meeting will adjourn no later than 10 p.m. unless a majority of the council members that are present vote to extend the time. And before we begin, I ask that you look at your cell phones, make sure they're turned off or on mute, and please refrain from texting, especially with someone up here at the dais, because that could be construed as a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act. I also, don't look at my face. This is not how I normally look, but this is what happens when you're rushing and you trip on steps and you hit your head in the front door of your house. And so you have to be careful. Don't wear flip-flops after the rain, because flip-flops slide. So we'll just move on with the meeting, and at this time I ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And while you're standing for the moment of silence, it's a solemn week. It's the week of 9/11, and just say the prayers for all those who are affected. Please be seated. Roll call.
Mayor Schwager,
Here.
Council members Kamala,
Here.
McCann,
Present.
Pignatelli,
Here.
Saliani,
Here.
Slasinski,
Here.
Talamini.
Here.
Wendy, thank you for substituting in for Michael tonight. And Wendy, thank you for substituting in for Matt, our attorney.
And you don't have to be called Wendy to be up there.
Oh, both Wendy, right.
Two Wendy's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wendy with a Y, Wendy with an I.
Oh, I will not remember. All right, my mayor's report. Always good to start on a happy note, and congratulations to our green team, chaired by Allison Fleeson. They work very hard. And Sustainable Jersey has awarded us the silver level certification. We completed 34 actions in 13 categories for a total of 420 points. And the certificate will be given out at the League of Municipalities annual convention at a luncheon. So congratulations to all those members of the green team. Thank you for your hard work and for the achievement of silver. On Friday, I had mentioned it's a solemn week. On Friday, September 15th at 12:30 p.m., Bergen County Division of Veterans Services will host a POW MIA Recognition Day ceremony. So that's very special. Announcing for rec, Oakland Baseball, Mum, that's Flower Mums, M-U-M, sale. In the post office parking lot, September 23rd and September 30th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the 12U team to go to the Ripken 2024. So that's special. But then I made sure I also edited about the girls softball. And the girls softball is asking for donations to support their travel uniforms and upgrades of equipment. You can do this by its raise.snap app. You can go to Facebook, Oakland NJ Braves Softball, or you could go to the website, Oakland Travel Softball 2023. And that's for the girls softball. That's how they're raising money for their needs, and the baseball boys are having plant sales. Then on September 18th, that is Monday night, the Oakland Public Library is having a free jazz concert at 7 p.m. at the library. You can register either by calling the library at 201-337-3742, or you could go to the website www.oaklandnjlibrary.org. This is a public service announcement from the Borough. Late night voter registration shall be held in the Oakland Municipal Building Tuesday, October 17th until 9 p.m. And that is the last day to vote, last day to register to vote in November. Access for all, John McCann's here, he could give a report. Thank you, we attended the meeting, and it's a viable committee, and we have 2 vacancies, and we're filling them tonight, so that's exciting. Patriots Way Bridge, it is official. I received notice from NJDOT, New Jersey Department of Transportation. As I had said a couple of months ago, we were given $3 million grant. Well, is it last week? I lost track. 2 weeks ago, we got the notice that we're getting an additional $3 million. So that's $6 million from DOT, plus the initial grants. And I think Richard added it up. I didn't have my calculator, but I think we're close to what right?
About 8.8.
Yeah, 8.8 million in money for the bridge. So that is so exciting, because that takes away any kind of burden from the taxpayer, and we're going to get a new bridge, and it's just so exciting. I can't believe it. NJDOT came right through for us. And so thank you to the Commissioner. She's been wonderful. When she called me and said, don't forget to apply next year for the additional $3 million, and then out of the blue, she called me and said, we're getting $3 million again. So $6 million, so that's very exciting. Just an update on what's happening in the Borough, Lakeside Boulevard. I get calls all the time about Lakeside Boulevard. It is a mess. I mean, it's awful. It's a hazard to drive on. I try to avoid it at all possibilities. But the problem is, we did finish the sewer part of it, of the installation of the sewer lines. We were waiting for the water main replacement, and that's now going forward. So it was ridiculous and not very cost effective to do the sewer lines, pave, dig up the road, put in water mains, and then pave again. So what happened is, it was decided to do the sewer lines, cover it, dig up, do the water main, cover it, and then when the weather is, when the weather is allowed, permissible, then we will do the paving, and Lakeside will be repaved. PSE&G gas line replacements, we're still waiting for their specifics of the roads that they did, so that's out of our hands. That is PSE&G's, their scheduling. They dug up, they tell us when they're going to fix. And water, everybody's still asking about the PFAS and PFOA updates. The contract was awarded and starting installation of all systems. All work should be completed no later than February 2024. And I just want to remind everybody that our water has not changed. I still drink the water. A lot of people still drink the water. The water has not changed. It's that New Jersey standards have changed. So I don't want you to think that all of a sudden all these things are in the water. It's whatever the water was, is. It's the standards that have changed. And that is it for now. And at this point, I'll hold off on the engineer's report. It should come after the public comments, so that if anybody has any questions, he can fill that in. So a motion to open to the public comment.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone wish to speak? You don't have to raise your hand.
Ladies first, you going up?
You don't have to raise your hand. You could just come up.
All right, I guess I'll go first, fine. Andrea Levy, 780 Ramapo Valley Road in Oakland. All right, actually, I'm just gonna go over some of our committee information really quickly. There's an Arts Council meeting this Monday, September 18th, 7 p.m. at the Senior Center. As everybody probably heard, the Arts Pavilion grand opening was delayed because of the weather, and we are scheduled for September 23rd. Again, this will be from 1 to 5 p.m. And the rain date is actually October 14th. So mark your calendars for October 14th, just in case the 23rd doesn't come through. We have the deadline for the mural contest coming up on October 13th. We're starting to get some entries, so please get your entries in. The poetry contest, I haven't really seen so much coming in on that, but our poetry contest actually ends on this Friday, 9:15, so if you've been working those words, please send those in. And we have open mic nights scheduled at, they'll be held at Real Brave because of weather purposes, but September 28th, October 26th, and November 30th. For the Oakland Communications Commission, in the newsletter and also on social media, we're going to be posting history of Oakland photos and special interest, and we're open to receiving photographs from our residents here, so please reach out to us through the OCC. And through the Green Team, we have the Sunday hikes. Next one is October 1st and then November 5th. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, Tim Lally, 4 Mountain Lakes Road in Oakland. That puts me in the Visconti house. Maybe you guys remember Mary
Oh.
Beth and
What is
Christopher
house?
Visconti. Very nice house. So Mary Beth, her brother was commissioned to build that whole area there and build a whole sewer, the house that's right there. Nice, concealed, discreet house. My wife and I dumped tons of money into that beautiful house. Where's the engineer? I had the telephone pole moved with a guy wire going to my backyard so I can grade our backyard. Beautiful backyard for my 5-year-old who's a kid at Heights now. And I know there's work being done right next to us. We're right next to the sewer house. It's a nuclear test site for about 8 months now. So where do I'm not gonna take a long time. I called Richard, I spoke with Kathy. Wonderful lady, your communication has been fantastic. And I asked for, what's it gonna look like? Is it gonna be beautiful? Is it gonna look nice? What's gonna happen? And I was assured, we just want you to be happy. We want it to look good. We want Oakland to look beautiful. We want that corner to look good. It's a walkway towards Heights. It's a drop off for Valley, all sorts of stuff. I got a copy of the plans, and ouch, it's ugly. There's a chain link fence that's 6 feet high. The equipment is 8 feet high. There's an ugly driveway right there. I drove by the other pumping station. They have a beautiful shed. Completely, it's concealed. It looks great. So, for 35 years, it was concealed. People drove by that house. When a sales rep sold the house, we were told it was a mechanical house. It was part of the fire department. Nobody knew what it was. You drive up that Chapel Hill estate, and I come from Bergenfield, New Jersey, and I feel like I made it. I'm in Oakland, New Jersey, in this beautiful area, and now this. I hate throwing bad things, but it's going to devalue the area. If I don't go home and tell my wife that I have your commitment to make that area look good and have a shed as it is down the other way, then you guys got to open up a bed for me because I'm going to be sleeping in your home. So all jokes aside, we need something there to conceal it. It's going to go from a nuclear test site to a power plant. You turn that corner, it's an eyesore. If when I understand Chris at Boswell Engineering, I brought to your attention that the detention basin was going to be open. Nobody thought of all the kids would have access to the detention basin.
Excuse me, exactly what is the location of it?
Of the detention basin?
No,
I'm
of
sorry.
this,
It's right on the corner, Hiawatha
Mountain Lakes.
okay.
and Mountain Lakes Road. Yeah, so it's right next to the firehouse.
Right across the street.
Right across the street. And I see a box with this 1966 Batmobile light on me. Am I gonna hear noises and sirens going off? And who answers that call? Am I gonna be on the payroll now to, hey, the thing is failing, you come fix it? All I'm asking is that you revisit this idea, please. This driveway is disgusting. I mean, the guys can't park in the street and walk 20 feet. There was a driveway built that's 20 feet, you gotta back in? Ah, come on, I mean, that's silly. Driveway's gotta go, it's gotta have a shed, it's gotta look good. You know that area pays a lot of taxes. I'm proud to be a resident of Oakland and to have my son go to Heights. But this, and for 8 months, I've been quiet. I'm not one to make noise. I don't mind picking up the garbage of the construction guys, of their lunches blowing onto my property and putting it into the garbage can. I don't mind that, there's just rocks everywhere. There's a mound of dirt there. It's been there so long, it's got grass growing on it. So all I ask is please reconsider, revisit, have our place. I don't want a chain link fence. I want that same cute little house that's always been there, the one that's down, I think, on this Lakeside Drive. They got a beautiful,
Lovely.
cute little house. That's all I want. I want to look out my window when I go to resell my house in 15 years. I don't want people to say, oh, that's an eyesore. My value should be going up with this construction, not down. So I just ask you, just do what's right, and it should look beautiful. We put a lot of money into our house, and to see this next door, it's just
And
not
you're
right.
at 4 Mountain Lakes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay?
got it.
That's okay. Any questions?
It's public comment, it's not debate, but we'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
I will talk to you.
So I'm just gonna build on it. I'm across the street from Mr.
What number are
Lally.
you?
So I'm 1 Mountain Lake, so I face directly.
Sorry, your name, sir?
So first name is Ardi, A-R-D-I, last name B as in boy, R-U-N-C-A-J. So I'm at 1 Mountain Lake, so I face the sewage treatment plant. Tim, he's one house to the left, and everything he said is spot on. And I similarly have been pretty patient. I've had some email dialogue recently with John Yakimic, and my most recent email in August was like, okay, it looks like you guys are getting ready to close this out. Is there like a blueprint or a plan? Because I remember way back in 2020, it was like, it's gonna be like a park area where you can like walk your dog, the kids can walk through there on their way to like Heights School. And then now to see all this metal equipment, and then I believe the response from Mr. Yakimic was, there's no like real picture. I work in marketing. Before we create a product, we want to see what the end state is going to be, so that we can say, well, how did that get in there? Because that's not what we talked about with the engineers. And like Tim said, you guys have done a wonderful job investing in the town, making the downtown beautiful, getting the sidewalks, raising the standard of Oakland. To have this in a really highly visible Hiawatha Boulevard on the way to school, the safety risk is actually, I'm concerned more about that, because I'm actually looking at an article, and it blew me away, from 2005 on CBS, sinkhole danger, old septic tanks, right? And it's coincidentally enough, Mika Brzezinski, I think we know who she is nowadays, right? This is way back in 2005. And she's warning that these old septic tanks are prone to collapse and sinkhole. There's kids that just are walking, or people walking their dogs, and all of a sudden, boom, it implodes. And from what I
You don't have
understand,
septic tanks there, though.
so what I understand is, and I'd love the engineers to speak to this, that there is a pooling station for all the sewage there, and that is in the ground, and there's a home, it looks like a ranch, that covers it, and that pooling station is essentially a septic tank. It's just open as opposed to being closed off. And my understanding of the plan is they're just gonna probably put some dirt over that, and we're done.
Could you spell your last name?
B as in boy, R-U-N-C-A-J. And I worry with the curiosity of those kids, and there's probably now 20 or 30 kids in that neighborhood. They're starting to, get a lot more freedom and range, and I see them running across my lawn, which I'm cool with because I have kids. They do a quick jump on the swing that I have hanging on the tree. They're gonna be curious about that site. And if what we're doing to our kids is saying, we're just gonna throw some dirt and kind of pat it in, and that sinkhole situation happens, man, that's gonna be a tragedy. I would say we, as far as I'm understanding, we, the immediate users of that municipal sewage plant, are on the hook. We're paying for this to the tune of somewhere like $7 million or so. is there an opportunity to, like Tim said, revisit it? If it costs another $50,000 or $100,000 and we protect the welfare of our kids and we pull that basin out, we fill it in completely like it's regular, standard earth, forgive me for not being overly technical there. We put a shed over all the heavy machinery so that way curious kids aren't in there messing around with the buttons, and we make it also look beautiful for a neighborhood in an area that we are investing in. That neighborhood, the town overall, I think that would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're number what?
6, Mountain Lakes
You're
Road.
6?
Frank DePentima. Yeah, so, of course, I'm gonna echo what Tim and Artie said. And what I really wanna say is, these guys have young kids. My neighborhood has turned over in the last 10 years, and it's great, because we have a lot more kids, so hopefully Halloween will be really good this year. But honestly, until Tim made the call, no one was gonna address the basin, and that was gonna be left open, and that was disastrous. So, when we met on sewer, we were promised what was there was gonna be housed. In fact, the
Yes.
house that's currently there was, we were told it's gonna be about a quarter of the size. It would be beautified. We could put some benches. It would be like a park-like area for that corner of Hiawatha and Mountain Lakes. And right now, it's not. I mean, if you guys get a chance, come up and see it. I mean, they built a 4.5 foot wall, Tim. That's just a wall to nowhere. Maybe we can ship it to Texas. I think they could use the wall. But
I
literally,
think
there's
you're right.
a 4 foot by 4 foot wall. I don't really know. It's a windbreak or whatever it is, but it's not appealing at all.
I'm gonna pursue this. I'm sorry I didn't know about this.
I could give you
up to
pictures,
now.
whoever wants them after the meeting. I know
Yes.
Tim has a ton, and he, we all see it. I mean, it's right there. When we stand on our porches, when we talk in the driveway, it's right there.
We'll follow up on this, I promise.
Okay.
Do
So,
you want to see photos, or am I past my time?
Well, afterwards, I'll look at both. First of all, I'm having trouble seeing on the, right now, so anyway. I can't even see that distance, so. We'll wait.
Okay, thank you.
Or you could send it to me. We'll talk.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk.
so my other thing is, I'm very happy to hear we got some more funds for the bridge.
Isn't it exciting? Yes.
It is, but what about the sewer project?
We're working down, one project at a time.
I know, but we're gonna be starting to pay for this project.
Well, I'm now in
Right,
that
so-
boat. I'm now paying for sewers.
Well,
I
we
know
are.
what it's like now.
We're all paying, right? So, I've spoken to Senator Shapizi. There are funds, but we need to go to her and ask for them for this specific project, and she hasn't been contacted. So please, somebody, make the call.
We are
Anyway.
trying.
We need more than try.
I could beg, that's what I do. I beg, I call, there's something we could do.
There's got to be things to do. The other thing I wanted to say, I did want to thank Rich, because when they did the milling and stuff on our street, they did mess up the curving in our area. I contacted Rich. They fixed it. They fixed it, honestly, Rich, I think it's better than it was beforehand, I would say. Aesthetically, it looks much better than it was, so thank you. You told me it would be on the punch list. It was on the punch list. I do appreciate that. And my last question is, has Mrs. Cedar gotten a formal apology yet? No? Okay. Nothing? 217 days. I think I'm contacting Guinness. Might be a record. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Ann Cedar, 33 Winding Ridge. I know there's going to be the engineer report. I just wanted to know, well, first of all, I'm excited there's more money, so that's always a good thing. But I want to know what the status of the bids are. Do we have, did bids come in? Did we pick one? What's the timeline for that part of it? And when is the project going to start realistically? I think originally it was going to be October, November, but are we on that timeline? And then I just had one question about one of the agenda items, 23-269, the contract for, the additional contract for the Borough Planner Services. Is that additional $9,000 for the presentation that she made at the last meeting with the
You said
downtown?
259?
269.
Oh, 269, sorry,
Yeah.
thank you.
So I just wanted to know if that additional funding was for that specific, I guess, agenda, because it's not in the resolution, so I just wanted to know what, like, if that's what it was for. So that's it.
Anybody else? Motion to close.
Motion close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Engineers report.
Okay, Mayor, thank you. So let's start with the bridge. The question was when that's scheduled to go out to bid. So unfortunately, the Department of Transportation sent us a notice back in August. And I guess this is as a result of us getting so much money. As a result of us getting all these grants that totaled over $3 million, it triggered an executive order that was invoked by the Kane administration back in the 1980s, which basically said you have to prepare what is called an environmental assessment if you receive these monies. So that's, lack of a better term, you know, a bureaucratic part of the logic tree in putting this out to bid. That popped into my screen around mid-August. Boswell promptly put together an environmental assessment. It was several pages long. We sent that down to the DOT just before Labor Day, I believe. We expect the department to review that and approve that probably within a month of our submission. So I would say that everything that we said with regard to advertisement has been delayed anywhere between 30 to 45 days. So unfortunately, it was a bureaucratic trigger as a result of us getting all that money. With regard to all those ugly things up at Mountain Lakes Road, I designed all those ugly things, or my firm designed all those ugly things. We're ugly engineers, we're not, you know, architects, so I'll be more than happy to meet with everybody up in that neighborhood to work out solutions and to, you know, make everybody happy. So I'll leave you my card before I leave today. We'll go through Rich and we'll start the process, okay?
We'll even feed you when you come up.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you. And I don't know if there were any other questions during the public session, but the Oakland Road program has been completed. To the mayor's point about the horrible driving conditions on Lakeside, we will be advertising for bids next week on that water main project to get that moving. So we'll be advertising for that next week. We'll also be advertising next week for the Bush Plaza improvements to forward that project forward along. We're having DPW doing some ancillary things up there until we can get a contractor on board at Bush Plaza. The mayor gave the report on the PFAS. I have out to bid now improvements to Seminole Avenue between Hiawatha and Calumet. We'll be receiving bids for that on September 26th. And I think that's it, Mayor.
When do you expect to start work on Bush Plaza?
Well, with that out to bid, that work would start with that contractor, hopefully sometime in October.
Oh, okay. Completion maybe by spring?
Yes, because there are long lead items. You know, the clock is long lead. A lot of those decorative lights are long lead. They take, you know, upwards of a half a year to fabricate and to get done. All the foundations would be put in place and all ready to receive that.
So hopefully June of next year, hopefully.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
Councilman.
Question?
Yeah.
Mr. Kemick, I know we've been talking about this since last meeting. Your firm did an inspection on the bridge where the hole in the plate is. Have you received anything back from the state as far as increasing the weight limit on the bridge?
I finally got an email last week from the state saying they got approval from the state. Well, this is from the state consultant. They got approval from the state for the funds to finally do the ratings to increase the weight limit. So they just started it last week. I would suspect it would take them, being a bridge engineer, anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks. So I will follow up with them next week. But unfortunately, you know, their processes are a lot more cumbersome than, you know, I think we're used to here. in Oakland. So they have to get approval to do that. They got the approval. They've commenced that work last week.
And just another follow-up question. Quick timeline on the bridge, I mean, if it goes out to bid, when do you expect to break ground on it? Just roughly, not holding you to it, I believe that was one of the questions the resident had.
Yeah, so I have to think a little bit out loud. So it goes out to bid, it has to be out on the street, I would say, for a complex bridge project like this. And I'm thinking about when Kevin Boswell was here several months ago. We're looking at least 2 months on the street for people to put, and these are all heavy construction people, to put out bids and put that together. Then they have to submit what are called shop drawings. That takes several months. And then the bridge itself is prefabricated. So the bridge stays open while they're building the bridge and making it someplace else at a plant. And then when the pieces are being ready to be delivered, that's the point where we close the bridge and the pieces show up. As you recall, we have a temporary bridge to support the utilities that has to be installed. So in a long roundabout answer to your question, I believe we were looking at easily over a year. Kevin was talking closer to 1.5 to 2 years for a duration on this project. So that's the timeline we're looking at. It's going to be an extended period of time. But we will keep the bridge open as long as we possibly can. And because the worst thing is to close a bridge and see absolutely no activity out there.
So just follow up, one other follow-up question. So if the state consultant comes back in 10 days with their inspection, there's a possibility they could raise the limit on the bridge?
There is a possibility.
And take some of the pressure off?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
But, let's
guarantee.
see what they say.
Right.
No guarantee.
Okay.
No guarantees.
We'll keep you up on that. Okay. We have minutes, August 16th, 2023 minutes. Everybody read the minutes?
Motion?
There a motion to approve?
Motion?
Second.
Any additions, corrections? If not, roll call.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slasinski?
Yes.
Talamini?
Yes.
The executive session of August 16th, 2023, if there's going to be any changes, that has to be made in an exec session.
Motion?
Is there a second? Will there be any changes? Roll call.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
Councilman McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slasinski?
Yes.
Talamini?
Yes.
We have a proclamation.
You don't have it?
I have it. This is a proclamation to knock out opioid abuse day, which is October 6th, 2023. Whereas New Jersey is in the midst of a life-threatening period opioid abuse epidemic, and whereas the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey has designated October 6, 2023 as Knock Out Opioid Abuse Day, an initiative with multiple purposes to raise awareness for the potential of dependency on prescribed pain medicine and its link to heroin and fentanyl use in our state, to reduce stigma of addiction and shine a light on the need for recovery support, and to communicate to physicians information on safer prescribing, messages found in the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines for prescribing opioids, which include considering other therapies, setting realistic treatment goals with patients, and discussing with patients the positive and negatives of opioids. And whereas the State Senate and General Assembly jointly resolved in 2016 that October 6th shall be permanently designated as Knock Out Opioid Abuse Day in New Jersey in order to raise awareness about the dangers of and the link between prescription opioid abuse and heroin addiction, and to educate healthcare work providers, community leaders, state lawmakers, and members of the public about the opioid abuse epidemic and its effects throughout the state of New Jersey and across the country. And whereas the Children's Aid and Family Services, the Center for Alcohol and Drug Resources, and the Bergen County Prevention Coalition support initiatives designed to raise awareness about opioid abuse in New Jersey and take steps to prevent addiction. Therefore be it resolved that October 6, 2023, be recognized as Knockout Opioid Abuse Day in Oakland, and I signed it, Linda H. Schwager, Mayor. Appointment of Communications Commission. There was, we have a communications opening, and Mark Albala, I hope I pronounced it right. If not, I apologize. There is a vacancy, and is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slasinski?
Yes.
Talamini?
Yes.
Approve social affairs permit for Oakland Elks Lodge 2167 for September 30th, 2023, and it's called Elk to Oktoberfest, or Elk to Fest. Anyway, is there a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then on November 18th, approve social affairs permit for Oakland Elks Lodge 2167 for November 18th. And this is at 3 p.m. on March 17th, 2024. There'll be raffles.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, sorry, that was for the Ribery.
Oh.
That's March 17th for raffle animal refuge.
Oh, okay.
And the Elks Lodge has been November 18th, so let's go back to November 18th for the Elks Lodge. All in favor?
Aye.
And now for Ribery's license. A motion, yeah, thanks.
Yes, a motion.
So moved. Second.
In favor? Anybody opposed? All right, we have two people who want to join Access for All. I thank you. There are two vacancies. We had two resignations. And this is a mayoral appointment. And so the first one, you all should have the citizenship form for Eileen Perry and for Joan Check. So thank you, and just check with Borough Hall about what you have to do. And there's the Elks Lodge. Now we have resolutions. All these resolutions have been discussed ahead of time.
Do you have another raffle?
Oh,
Yeah, we do.
raffle, oh, 1462 and 1463 of the
Correct.
Elks Lodge.
Yes, yes.
Right. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we have the resolutions. We've discussed all these resolutions ahead of time, and I'll read them, and then we'll decide if you want to pull any out. 23-259, award contract to Boswell Engineering for engineering services for Lakeview Terrace Storm Sewer Upgrades Project. Data collection, $4,000, design, $15,000. Our CFO has certified funds are available. 23-260, award contract to Boswell Engineering for engineering services for Jerome Avenue Storm Sewer Upgrades Project. Data collection, $4,000, design, $18,000. Our CFO has certified funds are available. 23-261, authorized grant submittal to Bergen County Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, fiscal year 2023. Unprogrammed funds grant program for Jerome Avenue Storm Improvement Projects. And the application is in the amount of $163,750. The State Interlocal Services Act, community development funds may not be spent in the municipality without authorization of the governing body. The resolution does not obligate the financial resources of the municipality. 23-262, authorized grant submittal to Bergen County Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, fiscal year 2023. Unprogrammed funds grant program for senior center improvement project, $35,167.22. And the resolution does not obligate the financial resources of the municipality. 23-263, authorized grant agreement for Bergen County Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, fiscal year 2023, for Lakeview Terrace Storm Sewer Improvements Project, and the purpose of using $100,830 for the Lakeview Terrace Storm Sewer Improvement Project, and any funds not spent in accordance with the grant agreement, that the liability of the mayor is in accordance with the HUD requirements. 23,264 is to authorize refund of taxes for Nicholas Mesias due to disabled veterans exemptions. It's a refund of taxes to Nicholas, 62 Cardinal Drive, Block 5002, Lot 45, and Nicholas, $1,442.43. Nicholas, thank you for your service. 23,265, authorized refund of recreation fees. Quill family, 89 Martha Place, soccer, $90. Asala family, 34 Mohawk Avenue, cheerleading camp, $168. The Kurt family, 16 Arrowhead Road, cheerleading camp, $168. 23,266, authorize the purchase of replacement senior center bus, and it's a shuttle bus, is $126,711.60, and the CFO has certified funds are available. 23,267, amend contract with Cleary Jacoby Alfieri Jacobs LLC for professional borough tax appeal attorney services. The original contract was for not to exceed $30,000. There's a need to amend the contract by an additional $15,000. The contract is for professional services, for which no public bidding is required. Our CFO has certified sums are available. Funds are available. 22,268, amend contract with Boswell Engineering for professional borough engineering services. Originally it was $30,000. Need to amend the contract, but $8,300. The contract is for professional service. No public bidding is required. The CFO has certified that funds are available. 23,270.
269.
269.
269.
Did you skip one? Are they stuck together? Here you go. Here you
To contract, oh, that's the one,
go. 269.
that's the one, sorry. That's the contract with T&M Associates for professional borough planning services.
Right.
And it is for $9,500 to award this contract for professional service. No public bidding is required. It is, the original contract was not to exceed $9,500, but an additional $9,500 is asked. Resolution 23,270, authorized donation of borough vehicle. The borough owns a 2004 Chevrolet Suburban, no longer needed, and we are allowed by NJSA 48:11-36, permits the transfer of property no longer needed, and Wantage Township Fire Department has requested it, and we're donating the 2004 Chevrolet Suburban. And 23,271, authorized refund of taxes due to overpayment, 23,271.
Yeah, that's,
Right?
something's wrong there, yeah, because it's the same.
No, it's different, and this is for the full amount. The other one was
Okay.
1,000.
Yeah, okay.
I noticed that originally. And it's for Nicholas Messias, $4,350.85. He is a disabled vet, and this is what he's entitled to. Again, thank you. We're skipping 23,272, 23,273. Authorize Chapter 159 for 2023, State of New Jersey Department of Agriculture Spotted Lanternfly Chemical Control Treatment Program. The Borough of Oakland has received a grant in the amount of $15,000 from the Spotted Lanternfly Reimbursement Program for the purpose of insect control in the borough, and wishes to amend its 2023 budget to include this amount as revenue. 23,274 PSE&G Services, refund of taxes for tax years 2016, 2017, 2018 due to tax court appeals. And it is in the amount of $32,912.89, and our CFO has verified the amount is due and the funds are available. And 23,275, accept a donation of the park bench. If you recall, we talked about this. This is along River Road, right on the, near the river, in memory of Cal Learsh, and it's to the benefit of the residents of Oakland, and Oakland Department of Public Works will install the bench, and it's a donation by the neighbors of River Road. 23-276, award contract to Boswell Engineering for construction inspection services for water treatment system improvements, wells 5, 9, and 10 project, not to exceed $240,000. Our CFO has certified that the funds are available. Do you wish any pulled out?
269.
269.
269. Okay, other than 269, any others? I want to hand that. Roll call, motion,
So moved. Second.
roll call. I wonder what happened to 269.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slasinski?
Yes.
Right.
Salamini?
Yes.
269?
Yes, this is award amend contract with T&M Associates for professional borough planner services. The original contract was for $9,500, and there was a need to amend the contract by an additional $9,500. All right, is there a discussion? And there's a letter attached to the resolution requesting the additional money. And it says, additional funding for borough planning services. And they list everything they've done, meetings with borough officials, meetings with the borough's affordable housing attorneys, review of the borough's cannabis ordinances and cataloging of all industrial zone properties, borough's housing element, review of multiple draft ordinances, providing comments and recommendations on multiple drafts of affordable housing in downtown, area draft ordinances, initial preparation and presentation to the Borough Council on redevelopment and downtown plan, attendance at a planning board meeting, and attendance at downtown committee meetings. So, you made the motion. Discussion.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I think there was just a question from a resident out on the floor. And I think it's just safe to say that the planner's been very busy for the last 8-10 months, and with everything that's been going on with downtown, with the planning board, dealing with cannabis and other ordinances. So essentially, she used up her first $9,500, so we need another $9,500 to go forward.
Right, and if I can just point out, outside of that initial presentation last time, any sort of work on redevelopment that we're going to be talking about going forward, matter of fact, there's an item on workshop, that's excluded from this contract. It would be a separate work effort, and a separate contract.
Motion to approve?
Anybody else?
So moved.
Was there any other discussion? Okay, motion,
Motion approved?
second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slasinski?
Yes.
Talamini?
Yes.
We have an introduction of an ordinance, 23 Code 928, an ordinance amending Chapter 2.
Hold on,
Section-
Mayor,
What?
we want to add a resolution to this? For what ordinance?
Oh.
Do the resolution.
I forgot about you,
Oh.
Councilman, I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's not about me, it's about everyone. I just volunteered to pretend I read this correctly.
This will be, that's right, remember I said pull out 23-272?
I would like to make a motion for a resolution authorizing amendment to the settlement agreement with the Fair Share Housing Center.
It's a resolution authorizing amendment to the settlement agreement with Fair Share Housing Center, and we're doing this so that it's timely with what we have, with the scheduling. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slasinski?
Yes.
Talamini?
Yes.
Now we'll do the introduction of ordinances. 23-928, an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Section 25 of the Oakland Code to comply with the Elections Transparency Act. This is because the state has changed a lot of rules and regulations, and because of that, we have to change our rules and regulations. And is there a motion to introduce?
Motion. Second.
Roll call. This is just introduction.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Yes.
Pignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slasinski?
Yes.
Talamini?
Yes.
Final hearing.
September 27th.
And if anybody wishes to read it, and get a copy of it. It is Ordinance 23, Code 928. And this has to be done because of the New Jersey statutes that just came into effect this year. That has changed this whole, the Campaign and Election Transparency Act, that's what they called it. So it's here for anybody to read it. Work session, Borough Council bylaws. Councilman McCann, do you want to bring this up?
You know, we met, as you know.
Yes, I know.
And we made the changes, your recommendation, there were 2 changes to the bylaws to be consistent with the New Jersey state statute. Eric, did you want to chime in on that?
Yeah, essentially, we just made 2 simple changes, so as Councilman McCann said, so it's aligned with state statute, correct, Councilman?
Yes.
And essentially, it was just myself, the mayor, borough administrator, and I believe our attorney, and there was no objection within the committee.
Do you want to read the changes?
Really be bringing them forward.
Yeah, we're moving now.
Well, one of the problems was we,
The bylaws were in the packet.
unfortunately, we're supposed to adopt the bylaws every year at the first meeting, and it was Councilman McCann who brought that up. That unfortunately, my family, this was not a good year for my family. That meeting was when my husband had his stroke, and I wasn't here that night because I was at the hospital with him. And I guess it just slipped in everybody's mind to not vote on the bylaws. But that has to be done every year, and it was an honest mistake. Do we want to vote on it now?
Sure.
You want to make the motion?
Well, I think we don't actually have the revised language yet.
Yeah, what is the
Oh,
line?
so that'll be the next
Yeah,
meeting.
we haven't seen
Yeah.
the-
Moving forward.
He only sent the line, the red line.
I haven't seen anything.
He hasn't sent it to you.
No.
We can make a motion. That explains why I don't have it.
Yeah. But if you want, if everybody is conceptually fine with this, we'll move it forward to resolution. I'll get it from Matt, it'll be included in the packet for the next meeting.
Yeah, that's
Good,
right.
that sounds good.
Move the resolution, please.
All right, next item, purchase of Oakland First Aid Squad vehicle. Perfect timing.
Yeah, so yes, member of the first aid squad is here. So basically, they approached me seeking to basically utilize the borough to help purchase a replacement SUV for use of the squad, because we can secure it at a lower price via one of our purchasing clubs that we're a member of than the squad can by going out and buying it retail. And that, you know, that cost difference is rather considerable, about $20,000 or so. And, you know, this is the same sort of thing we did a few years ago when we purchased a new ambulance. And they basically provided, I forget the exact arrangement now, but some of the funding, whatever, sent it over to us. And we handled the procurement. It became a borough-owned vehicle and be insured anyway. So this would sort of be the same concept, where we could help the first aid squad save some of their money to replace this needed vehicle. So if you have any questions about the vehicle itself or what it's used for, I'd ask Mr. Goodrich to be able to address that.
Is there any risk running it through this way? Is there any risk to the borough?
We insure their vehicles now, right? So no, I don't really see any.
Whatever the first aid squad needs, we give.
Well,
Yes. I mean, until you need them, you can't appreciate, seriously, until you need them, you can't appreciate how lucky we are with our volunteers at the first aid squad. And the same thing with the fire department. We are so lucky in this town with our volunteers, and we have to help them any way we can.
Mayor, can I just chime in real quick? First Aid Squad has really gotten a lot of hand-me-down vehicles from the fire department and the borough, and really this is, they've done a wonderful job, providing longevity and certainly getting the money's worth out of these vehicles, and I think it's really time to get them something new and move forward. So I think it's a wonderful idea if the borough purchases it.
thank you, Eric.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Mayor, we'll make arrangements with the squad in terms of basically the funding aspect of that. And then when we're ready to proceed with the resolution, we'll bring that forward.
Redevelopment assessment proposal. T&M.
Yeah, so this is sort of the follow-on from the presentation, where we asked the borough planner to put together a proposal, to basically do an assessment of the downtown to see where we thought, what properties may be ripe for redevelopment, right? It's not a full-blown redevelopment study in and of itself, sort of a precursor to that, to sort of get a feel for things. So she provided it two ways, one with a study area from Franklin Ave to Oak Street, and a second one going all the way down to Long Hill Road. The costs are rather modest, $2,900 to $3,800. And I think this is the direction the governing body wants to go in, but we're bringing the proposal forward for your discussion and to see if you want to move ahead.
Well, I want to say something. Last time someone said I was trying to disparage the planning board, and I wasn't. I was trying to say that we're duplicating and going nowhere very fast. We have a planner on the planning board, we have a subcommittee we meet every month before the planning board. We have a planner for the borough. I had asked, did the two planners ever meet? Richard? I have asked that. I mean, you have one planner working on streetscape and the downtown. You have another planner working on redevelopment and rehabilitation, and they're crossing. And yes,
But streetscape has never been presented to us, though.
exactly. That's my point.
Well, hopefully the new
I
planner.
would like the two planners, I'd asked them, are you going to meet? We're paying for two planners doing the same thing.
But whatever the other planner did produced nothing. So the new planner will produce something.
Maybe, hopefully, but they should meet. Why we're doing duplication work?
I think she said they did. I'm not sure.
What she said was, if I remember correctly, she said she had called him a few times and he had not gotten back to her.
Exactly, so my point is, they should meet before we go ahead and have her do this. Maybe he has things already that she could use,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah,
But I
great.
mean, I could be wrong. A streetscape is
No.
new sidewalks,
Which
garbage
went, and then it
cans.
went,
I
and then
mean,
it went further. But the point is, don't you think the two planners should meet
I know,
and
but this.
combine their
but-
work?
But this is actually looking at redevelopment, not just sidewalks and garbage cans.
But they should meet. We're duplicating work. What if he has things that she could use?
I actually thought part of the last discussion, maybe I misremembered, was that we need a master plan. We're talking about streetscape, it's a subset of what we're trying to do. And this, what the plan is gonna do is start getting in the right direction, and then the streets will be a subsection of that. It's a subsection of the planning board, so this was the step in the right direction to get it to where we start working on streetscape, right? We were going bottom up, this is more of a top down.
Right,
So if you-
and I kept saying, we have to
please let me
start from the
finish.
beginning.
But the other planner's been on there for a while. If they're not getting together, we can force them to get together, but I don't think stopping this for something that should be there, this should be,
I am not.
this should be part of her study,
Steve,
not.
you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I didn't say stop. I said they should meet and talk and combine their work and see what each has done.
As part of her work, can we ask her to meet Steve Light as part of this project? Is that elaborate?
We did ask her and she did try and it was not.
Can you follow up with Steve Light and Richard and find out why, if that is true, that he's not answering her calls?
And I'll follow up with both of them.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to just chime in here real quick. Just to put it on the record, Mayor, if you recall, we had both planners in the very beginning, and there was a meet and greet, and they actually walked the downtown area with members of the planning board and the subcommittee.
Right.
Okay? So there is conversation that's taking place between the two. As you recall, Mayor, when in the subcommittee meetings that you come to late and leave early, the planner does indeed participate in these meetings, okay? So, I mean, to make this blanket statement that, you know, there's no communication between the two is a little disingenuous, to say the least.
Well, we don't know if there is or not.
Okay.
We're going to find out.
So
And
so-
excuse me,
So if we're gonna find out, okay, as Mr. Kuhn said, he will certainly make that happen. But, you know, the notes are going back and forth, so, once again, Mayor, that's really at stake here is, it's this governing body that drives the project, correct? And what hasn't happened is the planner has not gotten clear direction from this governing body. And this is an attempt to set the expectation and move the project forward, which has not happened, which is why we hired a new planner in place of Mr. Lyden back in January, so that we can right the ship and have a plan going forward.
Exactly.
And what she has provided right now, just so the residents know, there's two plans here, which we asked at the last meeting to provide a study for rehabilitation and redevelopment. From Franklin Ave to Oak Street was number one, and number two was, the extended version was here all the way down to Long Hill Road. So this is really setting the blueprint as far as a baseline to figure out how we can move forward with the downtown area.
And I come late because I am in court because I have a job. And they know I come late and used to be later. So, when you say I don't come late because I just don't feel like coming there on time. So excuse me, I have a job.
The 1 year I was on the planning board, and I don't even want this to sound like in defense of Steve, but I know Steve had to work on 2 housing elements, and we did have a major development come in from McCoy Road. I think his direction was changed to pay attention more to those items than to redevelopment or the streetscape. So I think it got pushed to the side, and I think this will direct
That's fine.
the new planner in a straight direction just for redevelopment, not getting involved with everything on the planning board agenda.
All I'm asking is to have Richard find out if she could contact Steve Lyden.
There's absolutely no harm in that.
And to come back, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
No harm in that.
So, now we're back to alternate 1 and alternative 2.
So I'd like to suggest that we go for alternate 2, so that if we're gonna do this, we capture all the data between here and Long Hill Road.
So alternative 2 study is Round Valley Road from Franklin Ave to Long Hill Road. It is, the study area extends beyond the area in need of rehabilitation designation. Please note that the costs assume 10 hours of meeting with municipal officials, including but not limited to the Borough Council, the Planning Board, and the Downtown Committee. Map preparation 2,200, meaning 1,600 for a total of 3,800. So, what is everybody? I want this to go on the next meeting as, what do you, well, I want to
Well,
hear.
I would go alternative 2, if you're gonna do it, might as well do.
For the difference of
Yeah,
money, you might as well just do it all.
everything, yeah.
Everybody agree, anybody opposed?
No.
All right. Any new business?
I have some new business. Mayor. So last night we had the Open Public Events Committee, and we were talking about how recently we just approved a wine tasting at the senior center. And then we were just wondering, maybe going forward, if we could have an event that would, maybe we would have a beer garden or something like that. It seems like we could bring in vendors and people, and it could just make the different events more appealing.
Well, we do have an ordinance for
But-
brewery.
And
But the scale is a little bit different. You know, we're doing about at the senior center, and then we're doing a beer garden.
So that's
The
what
scale is different.
So that's what I said. I said, you know, maybe this is baby steps, and we see how the senior center goes, and but it's just something to think about. I know I was walking in Franklin Lakes, and they're going to have some kind of event where they have a beer garden. Maybe we could reach out to Franklin Lakes, see what they're doing, how they go about it. I just think I just remember as a kid going to town events, there was alcohol at it. I don't.
A little bit different today.
But
You were drinking as a kid?
No,
His
but-
parents were.
But there was events. I mean, I have birthday parties at my house for kids, and I have alcohol at the parties. You know, it's not.
Not for the kids, you know.
Not for the kids, but you know, I don't think it's such a big stretch to think that we could have an event in town with alcohol. So.
Do you know there used to be, when we played team tennis years and years and years ago, we used to have drinking. People brought, no, no,
You-
we used to
used to be
allow.
is not the correct statement.
No.
Used to be,
Oh.
yeah, currently.
Oh, but it was allowed. You could bring wine, you could bring beer.
How was the tennis game?
Everybody had a good time.
I just think it's something that we could look into, maybe if we reached out to Franklin Lakes and see
All
how they
right,
go
I'll
about it.
start call Charlie the mayor.
But don't forget though, I mean, there's increased insurance, increased security,
Well,
and liability for anybody who gets in without proper ID.
So we need to discuss it. And then,
Yes.
and then also there was some discussion about signage for different events in town there. The public events seem to be well attended, and we don't have problems necessarily with getting people to those events. But the other events in town are, you know, sometimes it happens, but why didn't you tell me? Well, it was on the website, it was in the email, it was on this, it was over there, it was, but, oh, I didn't know. We were wondering if like, lawn signs, if the different, like the arts program could do like a lawn sign and put them up the day of, and, you know, if that's okay with,
I don't see a problem with that,
you know, so.
personally.
All right, so that's, I just,
All right, any other new
that's what
business?
happened
Any old business? Borough Council Committee report, so you might as well keep talking.
there. All right, then.
You got wound up, go ahead.
So, before I say anything, let me just say thank you to OCC. You guys are great. This weekend, they did a lot. I don't know if all of the campaign speeches for the forum for the people that are running, and I know my speech was really boring, and they had to sit through mine, so I can't imagine what the rest of and they have to sit through all of them and edit them and sit through them twice, and on their own time and on a weekend where, you know, they could be doing many other things. And so thank you so much, OCC. You're very much appreciated. And then, so the schools, they had a meet and greet with the FLEO officers, the new officers in the schools. They were standing outside the school and spoke with the parents if they had any questions. And from what I understand, everybody is working out fine, and it's a nice addition to the schools there.
There was just one of our officers was outside when we came in. He was telling me how he loves it already. He
So-
feels so welcome, and the police department has been so good to them.
Yeah, so really, I've got nothing but good feedback. I don't think they've had one complaint, and, you know, not that we're looking for any, but they're very happy. It seems to be working well. And that's that. The public events, so we're talking about all the things coming up. We have the Halloween trick or trunk parade coming up. We'll have more details going forward, but it is coming. It'll be Halloween any day now. And
October 28th,
yes, October 28th.
it was on Chopper's flyer.
Yes, yeah.
We're already posting it.
Yeah, and then finance, I spoke with the CFO. We were talking, we didn't set anything, but I think we should meet sooner than later, maybe just get an idea of what's going on and move forward with that. And I think that is it, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. I just want to mention the fact that myself, the mayor, Councilman Saliani, attended the unveiling of Frank Monaco way up on Thackeray Road. It was really nice. They had a nice block party up there with all the residents, and it was really, it was a memorable experience. And the fact that Frank really was really a big part of this community, and by, you know, having that sign, you know, erected and, you know, unveiled was a special moment. I believe his wife also really did appreciate it. Also, there was another ceremony. The Oklahoma Volunteer Fire Department had a 9/11 ceremony on Sunday. We had members of the fire department, first aid squad, police department, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts were in attendance. And it was an opportunity to, once again, it's 22 years later now, and we're dealing with an entire generation of children that haven't even been around for 22 years, and it's kind of really getting lost in the fabric of our psyche, to say the least, within the United States. But I really want to congratulate the fire department for a wonderful job that they did with the 9/11 ceremony. As far as for my report, I want to, once again, as the mayor stated, congratulate the Green Team in receiving their silver award. Once again, they're doing admirable work for such a small committee to continue to, keep the silver award level. Planning board meeting is tomorrow. We are going to be discussing the streetscape publicly, so that should be a very positive meeting, and we should be bringing something back to the council within the next several meetings. And also, as far as the Arts Pavilion kickoff, which is going to be on September 23rd, some of the featured performers are going to be the Indian Hills High School Marching Band is going to be one of the performers. It's going to be flock and pop favorites across the years. From No Picnic, the Corps is going to be performing, the Wigglers, Amanda Mansfield, Emily Kern, Dance Theater of New Jersey, the Real Braves Ambassadors, and the high school teachers band called The Unprofessionals will be attending on September 23rd down at Great Oak Park. So it should be a fun, exciting experience down at Great Oak Park. And really, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Is that how you spell
Thank you.
last name?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd like to echo what Councilman Khumalo said about the 9/11 ceremony. Russ Stammer, the chaplain, really hit the theme right on the nose. He gave his personal experience with it, and as most people know, I do play the bagpipes, and it brought back memory. I marched into the pit on the first anniversary. It was very moving, and to listen to Russ's experience at the pit brought back a lot of memories. And I was taken back by the fact that on 9/11, 343 firemen died, and as of today, 341 have died from illnesses due to it. So it's almost equal amount of firemen passed away due to the illnesses from it. But it was a very moving ceremony. I just have to read something from our police chief. The new Oakland Police Class 3 officers started working at the Oakland Public Schools last week. The officers will be at the schools on a daily basis and work with school administration, staff, and students to enhance an already outstanding and positive student learning environment. I have been keeping in touch with the 4 principals and the officers. So far, I have received positive feedback on the program. And it's actually a welcome addition. I think it brings a little bit of an ease to parents to know that there is a police officer on duty at all the schools. And I applaud the Board of Education for financing it, and the police department for the training and et cetera, and the cooperation the police department have given them. On the first aid squad, during the month of August, they had 70 calls, and between the 2 ambulances, they drove a little over 1,000 miles. So they were quite active. And that's it, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman McCann?
Yep, Access for All Committee met, and they're very pleased with you on the $500.
I'm happy to hear that.
For the budget.
Happy to hear that.
And they're beginning to start to plan for next year's carnival event, which is their signature event. They're also discussing some other events to do with trying to join other committees in the town for Halloween and for Christmas. We're going to be discussing that at our next meeting. We have 2 new members, as the mayor appointed tonight. Mayor, is there anything you want to add to that, because you were there as well?
It was just, they want to work with public events on how the handling of Halloween. That's the start,
Right.
Halloween.
Yep. And on the police and the SLEO program, it's as you know, I'm a borough attorney of the town's, the school board attorney, the attorney for the Sheriff's Association and the Constitutional Law Officers Association. This is a movement that's going across the state This is, the schools are starting to recognize, and the boroughs and the municipalities starting to recognize that our schools need to be safe, and they're going to be requiring essentially armed protection all the time, just to ensure their safety. It's a different world today that we have ever seen before with people losing their minds. It's COVID, the lockdowns, what it's done to kids. The sheriffs in the state, they monitor social media constantly to keep an eye out for threats that are being made by people who attend these schools. So I think the Oakland SLEO contract, it was a model for other towns to follow. It was well done, and I want to congratulate the chief and everyone at the Board of Education for working on that. And unfortunately, that's where we're at. 9/11 is, as Councilman, I think it was Kumar pointed out, we seem to be losing our way in terms of people not recognizing it. And it started this year, unfortunately, at the top with the President of the United States not going to any of the areas that were attacked. Anchorage, Alaska was not where we were attacked. And that's unfortunate, but it does send a strong signal, and the decay of the concern, it seems. 9/11, everyone remembers where they were. I was a councilman in Cresco at the time, and I was what is the equivalent of the Public Safety Committee. I was a police commissioner, and we immediately started deploying, trying to lock down our schools and deploying services to Manhattan, including the ambulance squad and fire. Our mayor was out of town on a long weekend that day, and so the council in Cresco came together. But we were lucky in that town, we didn't lose anyone. Neighboring towns like Tenafly did, Alpine, Demarest, Teaneck, all those towns lost people. And I'll never forget that day. Actually, I'll never forget that week. It was an incredible week in terms of, if you recall, no one knew what was going on. Within a couple days, we started getting anthrax attacks. We also had the shooters in Washington, D.C., the snipers, the two people shooting randomly in D.C. at the time. It was quite chaotic. So it's unfortunate that people are forgetting about this. But it was also a great time because we came together as a country and we united. We probably need a little bit more of that today than ever before. But it was an honor to serve then. It's an honor to serve now. Thank you.
Mayor?
Councilman.
Mayor, before you go to the next person, I left one person off, which I never should have done. Danny D'Elia put the ceremony together.
Oh, he's incredible.
He's incredible. Danny, thank you, Danny. He went and solicited the businesses in town for 343 American flags.
That's how we got them?
That's how we got them. He went knocking on doors. Our businessmen in town donated that money, and he put it together. And Danny, your tribute to our community. Thank you. As Councilman McCann just said, we don't want to forget it, and you're the one person in this town that's going to make sure we don't forget it. Thank you, Danny.
Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. From the Oakland Communications Commission, the Television Committee has now launched their television sponsorship program. Residents and businesses can sponsor the programming on Oakland TV to enable the purchasing of new equipment and support maintenance of existing equipment to make improvements without having to ask taxpayers to pay more. Additional information about the program can be found at www.oakland-nj.org/television sponsorships. If interested in the program, email the TV Committee Chairman Jim Barry at oaklandnjtv@gmail.com. If you appreciate the work the TV Committee does to record and broadcast council meetings, parades, important events, and provide other programming of interest to the community, please show your support. The Television Committee is seeking donations to go towards installing video cameras in the senior center. If this initiative is something of interest to you, please contact OCC at oakland-nj.org to learn more. Also, the 5-year plan ad hoc committee continues to work on creating the commission's next 5-year plan and is asking the public for their input on what they think about the borough's communication channels and what features or capabilities they would like to see over the next 5 years. Please send your input to the OCC chairman, Ryan Schwertfeger, at occ@oakland-nj.org before October 1st. Also, the recent 9/11 ceremony from this past Sunday, which was really fantastic, as the other council members mentioned. Thank you, Dan, and Mr. D'Elia. The recent 9/11 ceremony from this past Sunday, as well as past 9/11 ceremonies, can be viewed on Oakland TV for Verizon customers on channel 2145, for Altice customers, channel 77, and on the YouTube channel at Oakland Borough. The OCC would also like to welcome and congratulate Mark Albala as the newest member of the commission. And lastly, the OCC has their next meeting scheduled for Thursday, September 21st at 7:30 here in council chambers. From the library, the summer reading program was a great success this year, especially for the children's program. They had an over 60% increase in attendance over 2022. Children logged 3,366 books read and earned 850 prizes. Adults signed up for, read, and attended programs at a 40% greater rate than 2022. More fall fun is coming up and includes a jazz concert on Monday, September 18th at 7 p.m. Qigong is returning on Thursdays, and various children's story times and music programs will return as well. So check the online calendar for details and registration. That's it. Thank you.
Councilman?
Oh, thank you. At the end, it's very tough for me not to echo real quick, so I won't use a lot of words. The 9/11 ceremony it was an honor to be part of it and to be able to speak at it. Between Dan Glia organizing and Russ Stanmer's speech, it was phenomenal, and just keep that tradition. We should be supporting that whatever we can on council as we go forward. And also thank them for the invitation. We received a formal invitation to attend, so I want to thank the fire department for extending that invitation to us. From a committee update standpoint, we have from DPW, there is a catch basin project. As you know, DPW checks catch basins every year. So they did their audit work basically through June, and now they're reconstructing, repairing catch basins that need repair. To date, they've repaired 91 catch basins. My favorite one from DPW is the pothole report. So 491 potholes have been repaired to date. So if you look at everything what DPW does in this town, not only do they help out, and for example, for my Bush Plaza update, they actually go above and beyond, right? Between the pothole repair and all the water main work they do, they go above and beyond. So as you go into the Bush Plaza update, where they have time, they're doing extra work to help save taxpayers and open money to help get Bush Plaza up and running. And as town engineer's report said, we will be going out to bid for the services to get Bush Plaza ready for spring of next year. On a shade tree, we are desperately looking for 2 more members. If someone misses a meeting, we won't have a quorum at a meeting. So anyone who wants to get involved in the shade tree, please reach out to me or reach out so they can join the shade tree commission. From Oakland Rec, very simple. I don't think anyone touched on it. On September 6th, we reopened Truman Field. It was a project that probably started 6 years ago when we were looking to do a lot of things with rec. And one of the things is it's going to help everyone. It's a beautiful grass field, which is much safer for the children. It also will help alleviate traffic on the Oakland Rec Field Road baseball field, so we can have more players and less traffic on the field, so we can actually have more events. And then next year, about this time, actually next spring, there'll be lights at Truman Field. So it was a great job by the Rec Commission to get Truman Field up and running. And one quick note, Mayor, please enjoy your holiday this weekend. Everyone else celebrates. That's all I have.
Just to go back to Bush Plaza, the county is the one who broke up the macadam.
Yes.
And it saved us a lot of money. And then it was DPW who cleaned up the macadam because it was all chopped up. The county was very nice to break it up for us. then they left it there, as you know about leaving things there. So after speaking with Rich and DPW, they are the ones who cleaned up the mechanic, because we were worried that someone would trip and fall, from all the broken cement pieces. So, Bush Plaza is going to be our gateway, can I speak tonight? Gateway into, the downtown. It's gonna be nice. So thank you to DPW, thank you to the county for breaking up the mechanic at their expense. And with that, open to the public. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Anyone wish to speak?
Andrea Levy, 780 Ramapo Valley Road. Again, thank you very much. Councilman Talamini, I'm glad you brought up two things, actually. Thanking the Communications Commission for the candidate speeches. It really is very helpful for them to be available and to give their time to us, so I really do appreciate that, and they always do a great job. And also, thank you for bringing up the beer garden. I just want to add to that, for those who are concerned, it's managed by a professional company. So it's not like we just bring beer and say, hey, have a party, which, I mean, sounds nice, but it's professionally controlled.
Good.
So that people that are coming in are properly ID'd. It's enclosed, they have some sort of demarcation, whether it's a wristband or
I didn't know
stamp
there
or
was a
something.
company that does it.
There's tons of companies
Really?
that do this now. It's very, very big, very, hip.
Yeah.
Probably the bad word to use now, but anyway. So it can be done in a safe way,
Good.
and so I understand the concerns, absolutely. But I've heard great things out there. The other thing, electric for the Arts Pavilion. How are we doing on that? Anybody?
Who does that?
I made sure your conduit was dropped in the trench.
Is it the,
We need a hookup.
John is smiling, so he'll take care of it.
Yeah, we need electricity. We really need electricity there. That's gonna be vital for us.
We're
and-
meeting with Rockland on Monday.
Thank you. Thank you. And the parking lot, do we have any anticipated time frame for that to be cleaned up? At Great Oak Park, off the Doty Road lot, that's been.
A lot of dirt there.
There's more than a lot of dirt there. I was over there the other day, and it's a disaster.
It'll be cleaned up at the conclusion of the sewer project.
And and just to add to the Halloween, the trunk or treat, we're actually looking for people to bring their cars, whatever, it doesn't have to be a fancy car, but to decorate your car and to give out treats to the kids. We get about 300 to 400 kids that come to this event, plus their parents. So it's a very, very well-attended public event that we hold, and we need cars. That's
When is
actually
that?
what we need.
When is that gonna be?
That is going to be.
October 28th.
October, thank you, all right.
That's the parade day, okay, the same day
Yeah,
as
it's
the
the
parade,
same,
okay.
it's all part of the parade. We walk them up from the school, and they do their parade, and then they go through all of the different cars that are lined up and dressed up and decorated, and it's a really fun time. But we need cars. And if you guys want to dress up your cars and be there, that would be great too. But that's what we're looking for, and that's it. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Bills to be paid. Councilman Talamini.
Bills to be paid. Before, I didn't mention September 11th, and it really was Russ Stammer's
Yeah, speech.
speech was amazing.
Yeah,
It
he
was
hit it.
really, it was something, and I apologize for not bringing it up, but
Yeah.
you should talk to Russ about it. It was a really good speech. It was very meaningful. Bills to be paid. $2,739,919.84. So moved.
There a second?
Second.
If you read the bills list, you can vote. Roll call.
Councilman Kamala?
Yes.
McCann?
Abstain.
Dignatelli?
Yes.
Saliani?
Yes.
Slasinski,
Yes?
Talamini.
Yes.
There a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next meeting will be September 27th, right here at 7 PM. And to all our Jewish friends and family and all residents, this Saturday and Sunday is the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. I wish everyone a very healthy and a sweet New Year, and I will see you next year on the Jewish calendar.
Happy New Year, Mayor. Mayor, Happy New Year. Good-
Thank
good
you.
holiday.
Thank you.
I will teach you.